Hello, everyone. Welcome to a cross group week 1 match between the Littleroot Leafeons and the Mr. Diddy's Smoliv Oil. The Smoliv Oil are pretty much all but confirmed to be in the finals, but of course they want to keep winning to uh, remove that last bit of uncertainty. Littleroot Leafeons are middle of the pack of theirs, so they really need this win, or at least to do well enough to be considered. So yeah, we'll see how each team plays here. I was unable to make the match, so this is a replay. Swap into slow speed so I can actually commentate, and let's hit it. All right, so literally Leafeons, they start off with Galarian Zapdos and Hisuian Arcanine. With Iron Bundle, without Water type, it's not going to be very good. And Hitmontop, who activates Defiant, and Clear Amulet is going to stop Hisuian Arcanine from taking the Intimidate. Immediately tearing to Ghost, looking for, that water move. As Fake Out does go into the now Ghosts, which isn't going to do anything. Icy Wind going to drop. It's not going to drop the speed, actually, because of the Clear Amulet. Wild Charge going into Iron Bundle, but it does live, surprisingly enough. And then, unfortunately, Galarian Zapdos is going to be Encored into Protect, as Psychic Fangs goes into Hitmontop, doing quite a bit of damage. Close Combat now going into the Galarian Zapdos, not doing a ton of damage, honestly. But is going to swap it out with the Eject Pack into Tyranitar, setting up the Sand. An Air Balloon is shown. That's going to do damage to everybody, with the Hisuian Arcanine now being a Ghost type. Swap into Samurott here now, as Tyranitar tears into Flying. Icy Wind coming out again, going to drop the speed of Samurott here. And Close Combat going into the Terra Flying Tyranitar now, going to pop the Balloon, not doing a ton of damage. As Rock Slide comes out, it is going to take out Arcanine here, although Swampert been taking these moves pretty nicely. As Sandstorm does more damage, now even to Tyranitar, as it's lost its Rock typing, and Dragonite comes out. And then Top going to hit the field again to drop the attack of the two possible physical attackers here, and Wide Guard is shown. As Thunder Punch goes into Tyranitar, actually not doing a ton of damage, but the Paralyzation could be good, as it does get fully parried. So the Wide Guard, going for Rock Slide there, but didn't really matter anyway. Helping Hand going into Hitmontop, as Waterfall goes into it, not taking the KO though. Pretty tanky Hitmontop, but the flinch is going to come out, as Muddy Water hits KOing Hitmontop. So Para into flinch into accuracy drop, not looking too good here for the Smoliv Oil. And also Sandstorm has broken Multiscale. This is Multiscale Dragonite. Excadrill coming out, taking advantage of that last turn of Sand as Freeze Dry goes into Swampert. Yep, that is quad effective, so it's going to take the KO. And Waterfall going into Excadrill, doing quite a bit of damage. So Galarian Zapdos will hit the field once again. Iron Bundle is in a pretty good position here. It is going to swap to Tyranitar, though, to set up the Sand again for Excadrill, who will go for a Rock Slide. Is anyone going to flinch here? There is one flinch on the Zapdos, the luck coming back, and a double flinch, so yeah, it's not inner focus. That's certainly not good for the little Leafeons here, as another Rock Slide, is going to come out, take out Dragonite, and now it's 1v3. As Tommy Tantrum comes out to KO the Excadrill, but now Tyranitar isn't going to be able to go. It is with another Rock Slide to take out Galarian Zapdos, and that will be the end of our first match. A lot of flinches going on, but where there's a Rock Slide, there is a way. Moving on to the second one. So here we are at the second game. And yeah, so both teams, they actually played very well, I would say. Both teams clearly showing that they have prepared. That lead was especially good with the Defiant into, that Ghost Terra, the Fake Out, so pretty much completely invalidating the smallest first moves. But then Encore, Iron Bundle can learn Encore, and that locked your Defiant Pokemon into Protect, forced to swap out, and then a couple good moves and some flinches from both sides, stuff like that. So a lot of variance, but I feel like there's definitely some adaptations both teams can make, and we'll see what happens in our second match here. So our any lead's going to change. There is a Sweet Arcanine's going to show again with Swampert this time. Support Hitmontop hitting the field once again with Excadrill this time. Now this Swampert's a special attacker, so the Intimidate doesn't really matter. But Fake Out is going to go into it to stop it from moving. As Flare Blitz goes into Excadrill, who is Sash, so it's going to take it fine. And Swords Dance Excadrill is shown. So I'd be pretty surprised if Tyranitar doesn't just come out here to allow Excadrill to go first. Because if not, Excadrill might be taking quite a bit of damage here. Swapping to Galarian Zapdos, as yep, Tyranitar does hit the field to get that sand up. Excadrill's going to Terra to Ghost here, as it goes for Earthquake, not going to work against the Air Balloon or the Zapdos. As Muddy Water comes out doing a bunch of damage to Tyranitar and taking out Excadrill. So that's the main attacker. That was a pretty big problem last time gone, as Sandstorm does a bit of chip damage to Lapras. His name is Lapras Duzag, but that is Zapdos, actually. Zapdos is going to protect once again in front of the Iron Bundle, as Freeze Dry goes into it. And Knockoff going to KO Swampert. So yeah, you can just be Encore locked into Protect again, with Iron Bundle on the field here. I wonder if there's going to be like an immediate swap. Chien-Pao is going to come out though, so that could possibly be threatening the Iron Bundle as it goes for a Terra Dark. Sucker Punch into Iron Bundle, yep, going to take the KO, which means actually it didn't go for Encore. So prediction by the Littleroot Leafeons that worked out. Stomping Tantrum, not going to pick up the KO on Tyranitar as Rock Slide comes out doing pretty decent damage to both. They'll be forcing their last Pokemon of Hitmontop, who is going to activate Defiant, but you know, Chien-Pao is not going to like this attack drop. Gonna go for Sucker Punch into Tyranitar, even resisted is going to kill. Chien-Pao is pretty good. And Drill Peck goes into Hitmontop to take the KO as well with that Defiant boost. So yeah, that'll take us to our third game. That was a much more, I would say, decisive victory by the Littleroot Leafeons. So good adaptations on them, and we'll see how they do in the third game. Alright, so here at the third game, kind of the main thing I noticed was first of Chiyu, I don't think has come to either game here. I wonder what the reasoning for that is. Maybe just scared like Hisuian Arcanine plus Swampert and Dragonite. Actually, all of them are pretty good into Chiyu, and Galarian Zapdos can probably one-shot it. So maybe that's the reasoning there. But I feel like just losing Excadrill really early was pretty bad for these Smoliv Oils. I'd be surprised if he was led again. It seems like the defense are pretty prepared for that Excadrill lead. So yeah, I feel like Extra's a pretty key player here to make sure that you have enough damage to get through the little Leafeon team. And it's going to be Leafeon and Zapdos this time in the lead with Klefki, who we haven't seen yet, and the Iron Bundle, Core Drive Speed, of course. Leafeon immediately tearing to Fire against this Iron Bundle as Reflect comes out from Klefki. Freeze Dry going to hit Leafeon. No freeze. Stomping Tantrum doing not a ton to Klefki with that Reflect up. And Solar Blade, is it that Power Ape Solar Blade? Yup, and even through Reflect that will KO Iron Bundle. So that really fast Encore user, and here is Chiyu. Into the now Fire-type Leafeon, which isn't as good, as Intimidate's going to activate the Defiant on Zapdos here. Terra Grass Chiyu is shown, though. Heat Wave. With the crit is going to kill Leafeon. I actually don't think that crit matters. Keep calling it Lapras because that's the name. It's Zapdos. Going to hang on, though, but the Stomping Tantrum into Chiyu is now resisted. As Chien-Pao protects, and so does the Zapdos, as, yep, Fake Out goes into Chien-Pao, so yeah, it makes sense. You're stalling the Reflect turns. Getting rid of that Fake Out turn as well. And Klefki's going to hit the field again. Chiyu's going to swap out as Ice Spinner goes into it, doing very, very little. And Drill Peck going into Hitmontop, still going to KO through Reflect, which is kind of crazy, honestly. And Chiyu will be forced out once again. Ice Spinner going into Chiyu, going to take the KO. So now it's just Klefki versus 3 Pokemon, and I'm not sure Klefki... Oh, well, especially if you crit through Reflect. Yeah, that's certainly not going to work. Yeah, so... Yeah, even with that Reflect up, just all your Pokemon kind of taking that much damage certainly wasn't very good. The Defiant boost on Galarian Zapdos showing, you know, how good of an ability that is, especially against Intimidate users.